What's going on, guys? James DeLon here with MMOHuts.com, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to check out Battlecry here at E3, and I'm standing here with Lucas with Battlecry Studios. We got to see some awesome gameplay just a second ago. They're up there on the stage, and madness, fighting, blood, all kinds of stuff is happening. So tell us a little about what you're showing at E3.
Yeah, so we're showing off Battlecry. It's a team action combat game, all about fast, frenetic, brawler, melee, and range action. You know, getting into our war zones, fighting it out, really quick, fast games, just very accessible, very easy to jump into. It's third-person action combat, so we have 5 classes that you can come in and choose from. You know, with tanks, range characters, infiltrator for getting behind enemy lines, and just a lot of different strategy and elements that you can use while fighting into this war zone.
And so recently you just announced a new faction, and with all 3 factions right now, how many playable characters are there?
So we have 15 different characters that you can choose from. Those five classes in each of the factions that are represented there. And the factions themselves just have a lot of different personality attributes. So they're completely different animations, different looking weapons, completely different feels and VO to the characters. So you really got to kind of choose the faction that represents your personality.
Okay, so now I've got a question here that I know that my community has been wondering. We've got this really cool art design and everything like that. I just saw somebody, punch somebody in half, but yet there's no guns in the game. No, it's interesting.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that we wanted to build with the world. So, bringing that brawler style combat in and making it, for competitive multiplayer, we knew we wanted like a different set of weapons. Like if you're going to be doing this intense melee, and even for the range characters, we wanted something that you just hadn't really seen a lot of before. So in the world of Battlecry, they've actually banned the use of gunpowder, so it doesn't exist in the war zones, and instead a whole new suite of technology is developed. So the weapons are very transformative. Like the Enforcer's sword will turn into a shield and actually transform, allowing him to block attacks. The Ranger's bow is actually able of pulling an entire volley full of arrows and releasing them at once. So we wanted to have a lot of really just fun things that players hadn't seen before, that you can get in there and just do that really highly animation driven brawler combat on the screen with these amazing transformative weapons.
Now tell us a little bit about the in-game progression and how you can change your characters a little bit.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of progression for each of the warriors. You go up to 10 ranks. They're permanent ranks. They're a career for your warrior that you earn. As you earn your way along that way, you're going to get new slots that you can slot these skills into and completely change your loadout. So they'll radically change how your abilities work. Sometimes they become a completely new visual, completely new behavior. So the gadgetry's aeroscope might instead of showing the enemy location, might actually confuse the enemy and show false locations for your team. Turn into your proximity mine into a laser beam all of a sudden. So it really changes a lot of how the characters play.
Awesome. And you said that there's 2 game modes available in the game right now. And which one are you showing off on the stage right now?
Right now we're showing off land grab, and land grab's all about territory control. So there's these territories, they each have timers to them. You're trying to own them as long as you can, but once they exhaust, they actually disappear and move to new locations on the map. So you're constantly having to change up your strategy, change up how you play it as these nodes move around.
You have mentioned that the game is going to be free to play, and so what sort of business model are you going for here?
So as you mentioned, it is free to play, but for us, a lot of that really just comes down to vanity, letting you change the look of your warrior. So we have some really great looking art in our game, really good looking warriors. We put a lot of time really kind of making all new uniforms, all new weapons. So it's really about the player fantasy. If you come in, you're already going to look great from the get-go. But if you want to build this whole new look for your character, if you want to be the stoic character with a very simple blade, or have the massing transforming weapon, it in no way affects your power. All the progression is earned in the game, but it lets you completely change your fantasy of your character and play the way you want to look.
Amazing. So at the state of the game as it is right now, what's the next step in development?
So for us, we're already in an Australian alpha right now. Players have already started playing the game. We're getting great feedback. So we're going into our beta next. We'll be getting a lot of great feedback from there. And at each of these moments, we really kind of stop, listen to that feedback, make some major changes to the game. So this year has been about a lot of huge changes for us. We've added in kind of the 6v6 as well as 12v12 in the war zone. We've really compressed our war zones a lot on feedback, change a lot of the pacing of the gameplay. So for us, that's what we're after. Like with the beta, we'll be taking in that same kind of feedback, really paying attention to what players say, and tuning the game. And then we've got a lot of surprises, coming, both at the end of this year and going into next year in terms of some really new content elements that we're releasing. But we'll get the beta out of the way first, and then tell everybody about that.
You're showing off the game up there on the PC, and the game is going to be available for PC, PS4, and
so we've
so
only
just
announced,
PC.
We've only announced PC so far,
Okay.
But we do have the game playable on controller. It
see
is
that,
a fun experience, so we'll be keeping our eyes open. For
Awesome. When are we going to see beta?
So beta will be this year in 2015, and we're taking invites right now from battlecrythegame.com. So if you're interested, you should sign up and get priority access. Jump into Battlecry, sign up on battlecrythegame.com, and look forward to seeing you in the war zone.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.